The chosen one. Lean in. This is not another video. This is a summons. I am speaking to you as if we were alone in a quiet room, because in the spirit we are. Heaven has interrupted your scroll because your family line is at an inflection point right now. What broke them will not break you. What shamed them will not name you. The cycle that ran through your blood like a river is drying at the source, and a new stream is beginning to flow from you forward. I'm not here to flatter you. I'm here to tell you what God is doing. The ancient patterns that stalked your house, poverty of heart, sudden losses, hidden addictions, fractured marriages, spiritual apathy, are facing a verdict. The gavel of the Lord is descending. The curse that felt like just the way things are is being confronted by a higher law. The sentence is reversal. The decree is restoration. The order is release. You have sensed this pressure lately. The strange resistance, the odd fatigue, the sudden memories, the dreams that felt more like warnings than wishes. You wondered, why now? Because the altar has been set, and you were chosen to stand upon it, not as a victim, but as a breaker. Not as a scapegoat, but as a gate. Your yes has carried more weight than you knew. Your no has closed more doors than you realized. Heaven calls you key bearer. Listen closely. The promise is not that you will never face a storm. The promise is that the storm will not pass to your children in the same form it reached you. The line is being redrawn tonight. The name of the family is being spoken in mercy again. Documents are shifting in the unseen. Patterns are being put on notice. The fear that lived in your mother's eyes, the silence that lived in your father's mouth, the heaviness that sat at holiday tables, those tenants are being evicted. Do not disqualify yourself by recounting your failures. God did not pick you because you were the cleanest. He picked you because you were the most surrendered. Your tears have been petitions. Your questions have been incense. Your small obedience has been thunder. This word will show you what is being broken, why it chose your watch, how to walk it out, and the exact signs that will confirm it. But for now, hold this grace has outrun the curse, and you are standing where the river changes direction. Breathe, anointed one. What tried to inherit you will end with you. What heaven births through you will begin in many. Be still. The one who called you has entered the room. Listen with your spirit. The sender himself is speaking. The chosen one. This message does not originate in the echo of human opinion. It comes from the heart of the Father who knew your name before your family knew your face. I speak as a witness, but the voice behind my voice is the Lord's. I am the God of your fathers and your mothers, the keeper of covenant to 1,000 generations. I remember what they forgot. I redeem what they could not. The air is changing because his nearness is not a metaphor, it is an atmosphere. When he draws close, patterns loosen. When he breathes chains, remember, they are only smoke. You have walked with questions that felt heavier than answers. Yet the one who asks you to trust him is the same one who traced your lineage back to altars you never saw. He watched vows spoken in love and words spoken in anger. He saw choices made in fear, and promises broken by weakness. He does not approach your family line with accusation. He approaches with authority. He is not gathering evidence to condemn. He is presenting mercy to overturn. The judge is also your Father, and the verdict he delights to speak is, "Beloved, come home." Hear how he addresses you, not by your wound, not by your reputation, not by the labels that stuck in seasons of confusion. He calls you by your future, and he wraps that calling in tenderness. Fear not. He says, "For I have set you as a lamp in your bloodline. I have written my yes across your surname. I have appointed you to close what devoured and to open what heals." This is why the urgency has pressed upon your days. Destiny is not late. Destiny is leaning over your shoulder. You do not have to manufacture faith to meet him. His faithfulness meets you first. He moved toward you in moments you thought were numbness. He guarded you in rooms where you did not discern danger. He preserved a softness in your heart when hardness looked like survival. That preservation was not luck. It was orchestration. Now, the conductor lifts his hand for a new movement, and everything created responds. There is a reason your spirit trembles as you hear this. Every word you are receiving has been rehearsed in heaven, timed for release when your heart could carry it without collapsing. He has measured your strength and matched his instruction to your capacity. He has counted your tears and translated them into intercession. He has watched the cycle spin and has placed his foot on its axle. What remained unchallenged for decades is being opposed by a single sentence from his mouth. Let trust rise not as a performance, but as permission for him to do in public what he has been doing in secret. Lift your eyes from timelines and comparisons. Fix them on the face that does not flinch when your history tries to argue. The Holy One is not negotiating with your past. He is announcing your future. He has chosen you as the hinge on which your house will turn, and because the sender is God, the sending cannot fail. Hold steady now. The seal is being pressed to the decree. What is about to be revealed will feel written with your name. The decree opens. Watch how the pages turn. What I say now will find the rooms within you that words rarely reach. The chosen one. The prophecy is this: the river that carried sorrow downstream through your family is reversing its flow. What entered as fear will exit as wisdom. What entered as scarcity will exit as stewardship. What entered as shame will exit as honor. I see a hand the Lord's pressed against the current until it turns, and when it turns, it does not trickle. It thunders. The bend begins with you. The spray of that turning baptizes those who stand nearest siblings, cousins, children, even the unborn who carry your name in a future you have not met. I am shown a house with many doors, some swollen shut from years of weather, others nailed by agreements made in desperation. The Spirit walks your hallway with a ring of keys. He pauses at 3 doors: the door of speech, the door of covenant, the door of provision. At the door of speech, he removes a rusty hinge. Generational accusation loses its sound. And a new tongue is given truth, wrapped in gentleness, courage that does not wound. At the door of covenant, he pulls out bent nails. Promises broken by your fathers are re-signed by your Father, and fidelity ceases to be fantasy. At the door of provision, he fits a key that glows like a coal. The famine of never enough is exiled, and creativity becomes currency. I hear your name called in a courtroom not of earth. The adversary presents ledgers of patterns, sudden endings, near misses, betrayals that looked random but marched in rhythm. The judge does not argue spreadsheets. He lifts his hand and says paid. The ledgers curl to ash. The gavel falls like a bell, and the sound rushes through your bloodline. Some will wake tonight without knowing why their anxiety lifted. Some will look at an old temptation and find it suddenly boring. Some will step to speak and discover a new authority nestling behind their teeth. Do not assume the turning minimizes you. It magnifies stewardship. You will feel a wind at your back, the favor that follows obedience, but you will also feel the cross in your grip, the authority that comes only by surrender. You will not be carried like a passenger. You will captain a vessel heaven designed. The prophecy is not escape from battle. It is reallocation of ground, an exchange of haunted rooms for a house of prayer, a transfer of weapons from panic to praise. I see a table being reset. Where arguments gnawed through the years, the Lord places bowls of healing and pitchers of laughter. Where silence built high-backed chairs, he pulls them out and invites vulnerable stories to sit. There will be a night ordinary, on the calendar holy in the spirit when something breaks open at your table. A confession turns into a key. A prayer turns into a map. A memory turns into a door. The room will feel warmer than the thermostat explains. Angels love to stand where cycles end. In your sleep, old dreams will rerun with new endings. The chase scene loses its teeth. The exam you always fail in the dream becomes a paper you finish calmly pen unhurried. The house that crumbled now stands with a new wing. These are not fantasies. They are rehearsals for how heaven views your story. Your nervous system has memorized collapse. God will rewrite its choreography. There is also a mantle, and it fits you better than the labels you once wore. It looks like a cloak woven of two threads, priest and builder. You will carry tenderness for presence and blueprints for change. Expect to be pulled into places where worship and planning meet rooms where tears and strategy sit at one table. In such rooms, you will keep your spine soft to God and your face set like flint toward the assignment. You are not called to choose between altar and action. You are called to marry them. The blessing arrives in phases like dawn. First, a blue hint, then a silver edge, then a gold spill. Do not curse the blue because it isn't gold yet. In the blue, you will receive language. In the silver, you will receive resources. In the gold, you will receive rooms. You did not build relationships. You could not force reconciliation. You stopped trying to engineer. The dawn once begun will not reverse tonight. Clouds may pass across it, but the light continues. Now, hear the mystery, the trial comes braided with the blessing. Resistance will amplify near thresholds, not because you are failing, but because you are crossing. In those days, Accusations will feel tailored to your old self. Do not wear them. Delays will masquerade as denial. Do not sign for the package. Fatigue will whisper that safety equals silence. Answer it with a song. Your song is not a mood, it is a sword. I am shown your hands. They are anointed for mending. Papers torn between relatives will touch your fingers and realign. Projects abandoned halfway will spark again when you lift them. Children who learn to read the weather of anger will learn to read the weather of grace by watching your eyes. The oil on you is not loud, but it lingers. It will rub off on the doorknobs of your life so that others enter peace without knowing why. Finally, the Lord leans and speaks a phrase you will hear again. I will make you a turning of seasons. Not just in your house, but wherever your feet travel, climates will begin to thaw. Covenants will be remembered. Land will yield. The family photo that once carried a sorrow you could not name will become a testimony you cannot stop telling. The prophecy is not a postcard from far away. It is a letter stamped now in process. Handle it with reverence. Carry it like a torch. Hold these images. They are scaffolding for your steps. We will now go beneath the vision and unearth its meaning. The images you have received are not random sparks. They are parables. A river reversing is repentance at scale metanoia that touches a surname. When water turns, it cleanses what it once carried and irrigates what it once drowned. Your story holds both washing and planting. God is purifying memory while seeding legacy. The hallway with doors is a map of authority. Speech covenant provision. 3 hinges of a household's destiny. When accusation is replaced by truthful gentleness, weather shifts. When covenant is healed, time stops leaking. When provision is sanctified, money becomes servant, not master. Each door is portal and protector, opening the future while guarding foundations. The courtroom came because you understand justice. Mercy is not the absence of justice, but its fulfillment in Christ. The ledgers curl to ash not because your family owed nothing, but because the payment was enough. You are not escaping consequence. You are inheriting a greater law. This is the gospel, traced onto genealogy. The blood speaks a better word than the records. The table reset explains why reconciliation feels sacred. A table is where power becomes hospitality. Arguments protect pain. Confession invites healing. When the Spirit warms a room, fear loosens its grip on stories. Laughter returns first, then language follows. Joy primes the tongue for honesty, and honesty primes the heart for covenant. Dreams revising their endings reveal the mercy of a renewed mind. God is not only healing your spirit, He is reteaching your nervous system to expect goodness. The brain that memorized emergency must learn Sabbath. You will wake with a calm you did not practice because the Prince of Peace has become the dominant reference in your inner library. The cloak of priest and builder is vocation. Priests keep the fire. Builders shape the city. In you, devotion and design kiss. If you only burned, you would glow without structure. If you only built, you would craft without breath. Joined together, worship becomes engineering, and plans become intercession. This is how altars turn into architecture, The phases of dawn describe timing. Blue is language revelation that baptizes thought. Silver is resource tools, partners access. Gold is occupancy rooms you were born to inhabit. Impatience tempts you to counterfeit gold while despising blue. But heaven wastes no color. Each shade escorts you forward without tearing your roots. Resistance braided into blessing exposes the law of thresholds. Doors swing on pressure. As you approach inheritance, the hinge complains. Do not diagnose squeaks as failure. Anoint them. Oil the hinge with worship and watch the door. Remember why it was made. Your song is not ambience. It is a key cut to the pattern of your warfare. Your hands for mending reveal the sacrament of repair. Redemption is not denial of damage, but crafting of wholeness from broken parts, papers stitched, projects, revived children, calmed. These are not side effects, they are signatures. You will be tempted to call them small. Heaven calls them governance because the kingdom always begins a seed. Becoming a turning of seasons is a mantle of climate. Some carry temperature, you will carry weather. Where you arrive, ice thins. Cynicism loses sarcasm. Rooms remember spring. This does not mean you force bloom. You host warmth until seeds risk. Patience will be your superpower because climates change slowly and then suddenly. At the center is destiny, not a script that erases choice, but a choreography of grace that invites consent. Divine timing is not a clock that scolds. It is a conductor that cues. Faith is the musician who watches the hand and plays when the pattern modulates. If you miss a cue, the conductor circles back. Nothing good is lost. Transformation here means the reassignment of meanings. Scarcity becomes stewardship because hands that once hoarded now distribute. Shame becomes honor because hidden survival stories become public healing. Fear becomes wisdom because vigilance once driven by trauma is now informed by discernment. God is not discarding traits. He is redeeming their jobs. Storms test foundations. Doors test direction. You have survived tempests. Now choose thresholds. Not every open door is anointed. Not every closed door demonic. Light them with prayer. The right door reveals alignment. Peace in the gut, truth on the tongue, love in the aftermath. When in doubt, delay with worship rather than decide with worry. Purpose is communal. Generational blessing does not terminate in the hero. It multiplies through the table. Expect your breakthroughs to become recipes. Write them, teach them. Leave instructions inside cabinet doors, prayers that worked phrases, that soothed budgets, that freed boundaries, that healed. Refill survives the calendar by becoming culture. Guard your speech because words are weather makers. Blessing is alignment, not flattery. Cursing is misdirected prophecy, not merely profanity. Speak of people as you want heaven to speak of you. Truthful, hopeful, specific. Address children by emerging strength more than present struggle. Call spouses by promise, not by problem. Deliverance is a door. Discipleship is a hallway. The miracle is swift. Maturation is daily. Cast out what clung to your house, then cultivate what must take root in your garden. Plant rhythms. Keep altars. Schedule rest. Train celebration. These are not luxuries. They are how freedom learns to stay. The meanings are set. Now, grace will echo them in your days. Watch for the quiet confirmations that appear like coincidences but carry command. The meanings are set. Now grace will echo them in your days. Watch for the quiet confirmations that appear like coincidences but carry command. The chosen one. Signs will not come to impress you. They will come to instruct you. Heaven prefers whispers to sirens, patterns to spectacles. Expect confirmations that stitch the natural to the holy so neatly you could miss them unless your heart pauses to notice. These markers are already forming around you, personal yet shared, subtle yet unmistakable. First, the sign of the rehearsed phrase. A sentence you prayed in private will return through unexpected mouths, a cashier, a child, a line in a song you hadn't planned to hear. It lands with unusual softness, as if hand-delivered. Do not call it coincidence. Echoes are heaven's handwriting. When it happens, breathe, I receive, and take the next small, obedient step. Second, the sign of softened eyes. In rooms where tension knows its lines, you will catch a face relax for no clear reason. The jaw loosens shoulders. Drop the conversation that usually spirals, finds a landing. This is not mood. It is peace standing at the doorway. Bless it. Ask one gentle follow-up that invites story instead of debate. The room will answer by exhaling. Third, the sign of the unlocked task. A project that sat heavy will click with one idea you could not force for months. A number aligns a file, appears a call returns. Ease after long strain will feel almost suspicious. Do not distrust the ease. Steward it. Finish the task and give thanks, because momentum itself is a messenger that says, proceed. Fourth, the sign of clean dreams. Nights that once rehearsed danger begin to rehearse rescue. You wake remembering color rather than panic. Scenarios that used to end in loss end in completion or safe escape. Even when details fade, a quiet weight of calm rests in your chest. Jot a single word finished, found home, and watch daylight agree. Fifth, the sign of timely provision. Not extravagance that flatters ego, but provision that respects purpose. The exact amount arrives, the right helper appears, the needed skill is offered. You will hear yourself say, "It came to the day." This rhythm is not precariousness. It is precision training your memory to trust timing as much as resource. Sixth, the sign of holy boredom. Temptations that once lit up your nerves turn gray at the edges. The show loses its sparkle. The script feels tired. Do not mourn the missing thrill. Celebrate the returning appetite for what is real. Boredom with counterfeits is mercy-freeing capacity for covenant. These are not scavenger hunt prizes. They are road markers. Some you are already seeing without names to call them. That is why this list arrived, so you can point and say, That one. When two or three appear close together, pause your calendar and honor the moment. Pray out loud in the room where the sign occurred. Write it into a family record. Remembered signs become culture, and cultured remembrance turns into an altar your descendants can stand upon. Do not demand fireworks and miss firelight. Confirmation often looks like ordinary life tilting gently toward grace. If you notice yourself calmer in traffic, kinder in the argument, quicker to forgive, slower to panic, these are not minor upgrades. They are changes in the foundation. Celebrate them. Bless them. Speak them aloud so your house can learn its new language. Gather these tokens. They will steady your hands in the wind. Before fulfillment grows bright, you will meet shadows that try to teach you fear. Gather these tokens. They will steady your hands in the wind. Before fulfillment grows bright, you will meet shadows that try to teach you fear. The chosen one. Hear this in love. Before the door swings fully open, you will pass a narrow place. Not to punish you, but to proportion you, to trim what can't fit through promise. Pressure will visit, sometimes softly, sometimes like weather, moving in at dusk. When it comes, remember what we said. Thresholds squeak when destiny hinges. Oil them with worship. One challenge will be the return of familiar voices. Old narratives will clear their throats as though they still have authority. You always quit. This is too much for you. Your family never changes. They will arrive wearing new faces, but they are the same echoes. Do not wrestle each sentence. Relocate the conversation. Answer from the place you've been seated, not from the floor you used to mop. Say, I heard you, but I don't live there anymore, and keep moving. Another challenge will be holy fatigue, a tiredness that is not solved by sleep alone. It comes when environments you've outgrown still tug at you when your yes has expanded, but your rhythms haven't caught up. Don't mistake tired for uncalled. Let rest become obedience, not reward. You are not lazy for laying the sword down to sharpen it. Pace is part of purity. Speed without Sabbath becomes self-sabotage, wearing zeal's clothing. There will be the test of small offenses. Petty irritations will multiply. Delays, misunderstandings, side comments that normally slide past you. These midges gather around honey, not garbage, proof you're carrying sweetness. Guard your nectar. Choose not to bleed a covenant over a comment. Practice pre-forgiveness. The posture that refuses to let tiny stones turn into walls. Your bloodline has lost too much time to cold silences. You will lose no more. Expect also the mirage of useless effort. You will sow into soil that looks unresponsive prayer, that feels thin conversation, that seems to land nowhere, budget decisions that appear invisible. Mirage is a liar that assumes harvest must be immediate to grow. When that voice hisses, remember the phases of dawn. Blue is as honest as gold. If you cannot see roots, celebrate them. Roots are the only part that anchors a future tree. A subtler challenge is the invitation to old comforts. Not the dramatic failures you overcame, but the polite patterns, over-explanation people, pleasing, hiding brilliance so others won't feel small. These are not humility. They are disguises for fear. When you feel yourself shrinking to keep the peace, ask which peace you're keeping: the kingdom's or the crowd's. Heaven's peace enlarges everyone in the room. There will be the weight of new responsibility. Blessing births stewardship, and stewardship carries schedule. Opportunities you prayed for will arrive with calendars attached. Resist the urge to accept everything to prove you're grateful. Covenant does not need your exhaustion as proof of devotion. Learn to say, "Let me pray on it and mean it." Authority grows when it is pruned by focus. Finally, prepare for the silence of God's smile. There will be days when heaven goes quiet, not absence, but approval. Teachers stop talking during tests, not because they left the room, but because they already equipped you. During these silences, do the last clear thing well. Do not invent a new instruction to soothe anxiety. Maturity is fidelity without fresh fireworks. None of these challenges carry the right to name you. They are weights selected to build the exact muscle. Your lineage lacked restraint, discernment, courage, patience, joy that outlives mood. When you feel pressed, say out loud, "This is training, not trial." When you feel stretched, say, "This is capacity, not collapse." Your language will become fences that keep panic out and promise in. Take heart. The path is prepared, and you are not walking barehanded. Now, receive the instructions that will turn pressure into propulsion. Take heart. The path is prepared, and you are not walking barehanded. Now, receive the instructions that will turn pressure into propulsion. Set your mornings apart. Before the house awakens, offer God the first 10 minutes as seed. Sit. Breathe. Say His name. Read a psalm aloud and ask one question. What is today for? Write the whisper and align your calendar to obey it. Tend a small daily altar. Choose a corner place, a simple symbol, a Bible, a candle, a journal. Visit it at set times: dawn for direction, noon for recalibration, evening for gratitude. Consistency breaks cycles that drama cannot touch. Sanctify your speech. Fast from complaint for 7 days. When a grumble forms, replace it with blessing 3 times as long. I choose truth. I choose hope. I choose honor. Words are levers. Pull the ones that lift. Close unauthorized agreements. List the sentences that gave fear legal ground. Nothing works for us. Our family is cursed. I always mess it up. Cross them out and write new covenants. The Lord is my portion. I sow. Therefore, I reap. Grace grows here. Order your provision. Build a simple budget tithe. Save assign every remaining dollar a job. Poverty is chaos. Abundance is assignment. If math intimidates you, invite a wise friend. Money obeys mission when mission speaks. Repair the table. Pick one meal each week where phones rest elsewhere and laughter is stewarded like wine. Ask 2 questions. Where did you sense grace? Where do you need help next? The table will teach trust faster than lectures. Practice pre-forgiveness. Each morning, bless the people you will likely see. Say their names and pray, I release you from my expectations. I choose to serve love. Offenses lose teeth when they arrive to find you already healed. Integrate rest as warfare. Schedule Sabbath as a non-negotiable meeting with the King. Guard it with gentle ferocity. Rest is not what you do after victory. Rest is how you wage it. Fast strategically. Choose one appetite, food media impulse purchases for set windows. Replace the time with prayer for your bloodline by name. The space you create becomes landing strip for revelation. Anoint thresholds. With oil or water set apart in prayer, touch the top and sides of your home's doors. Declare, only peace belongs here. Only truth may speak here. Only love may stay here. Your house will feel the difference. Strengthen community. Identify 3 people of proven character. An encourager, a challenger, a sage. Ask for permission to text when decisions loom. Receive correction as gift, not insult. Guard the gates. Curate what enters through eyes and ears. Replace background noise with worship and teaching that lifts. Audit your digital habits. Set timers. Unfollow chaos, mute critique that poisons peace. Translate prayer into action. If you pray for reconciliation, send a soft text. If you pray for provision, apply for the opportunity. If you pray for healing, book the appointment. Faith does not cancel effort. It purifies it. Practice daily generosity. Give something everyday money. Time, encouragement, expertise. Start small and secret. The kingdom's law is circulation. What you release returns multiplied and refined. Name and enforce boundaries. Decide in calm what you will not negotiate in crisis. I do not explain away disrespect. I do not spiritualize irresponsibility. I do not abandon rest to please. Boundaries guard love by refusing lies. Adopt declarations that match your mantle. Speak morning and night, my family is a landing place for favor. The Lord is rewriting our storyline. I host peace. I release peace. I break with fear. I build with faith. Keep the record. Journal the whispers, the wins, the warfare. Date them. Review monthly. Testimonies grow when remembered. They shrink when ignored. Move in quiet boldness. You do not need trumpets to cross a threshold. You need a steady step. When opportunity arrives, breathe bless and say yes if peace remains after prayer. If not, say no without apology. Follow these, and pressure will serve you. Thresholds will open smoother. The house will learn a new rhythm. You will feel the choreography of grace carrying your feet. Exhale. Instruction has become path beneath you. As you walk, notice the presence that keeps pace on both sides like a shield. Exhale. Instruction has become path beneath you. As you walk, notice the presence that keeps pace on both sides like a shield. The chosen one. You are not advancing alone. The Ancient of Days does not send and then step back. He surrounds. Scripture calls it a hedge, a rampart wings, a strong tower. Heaven calls it witness. You have been assigned angels for this assignment, ministers of flame who understand your geography. They are not ornaments. They are operations. Where your eyes meet walls, there's map exits. Where your ears catch accusation, there's record truth. Feel the nearness like weather on your skin. Protection is not merely the absence of harm. It is the presence of a king who can't be dethroned. When you sit at the table, he sits too. When you lie down, he keeps watch. When you rise, he goes before you. The presence that parted a sea, closed lions' mouths, and walked through fire now occupies your ordinary rooms with quiet royalty. See the imagery. Heaven lends a ring of light on your threshold, a banner raised above your surname, a shepherd's staff resting across the doorway at night. The Lord appoints a perimeter you cannot earn, and darkness cannot cross without permission. Even the storm is conscripted. What comes is filtered. What remains becomes fertilizer for faith. You will look back and say, "It pressed me, but could not pierce me. It taught me, but could not take me." Peace will not only visit, it will govern. Think of peace as a sentry stationed at your mind's gate. Intrusive thoughts arrive credentials in hand, but peace examines each and stamps, denied on lies, delayed on worries, delivered on promises. You will notice space in your chest where tightness used to live. You will find yourself answering old alarms with new laughter, not sarcasm, but settled joy, the sound of belonging to someone stronger. Provision flows under this covering like a hidden aquifer. It does not advertise itself with excess. It reveals itself with enoughness at exactly the right hour. The oil will not run out while purpose requires flame. Manna will meet you where the next step needs courage. The right counsel will call. The needed favor will open. The tool you lacked will emerge from a drawer you forgot. Mercy has a timetable, and it has memorized your name. Relationships will feel the shield as well. Misunderstandings that could have ruptured will bend and mend. Words meant to wound will lose velocity in midair, falling dull against a wall of gentleness you did not manufacture. Children will sleep deeper. Elders will exhale more easily. Hospitality will become a weapon. Tea poured, bread broken, silence honored until truth can breathe. Your home will be mistaken for a sanctuary because it is one. And when night comes, the kind that asks old questions, assurance will meet you in the dark. A verse will light up. A memory of his past rescue will knock. A phrase from earlier in the day will reappear like a lamp on a stair. If tears visit, they will water trust rather than drown it. You will learn the art of resting while the battle continues, because you will remember whose shoulders carry the government. Hear the promise, plain no plan formed against you will prosper in its purpose. Weapons may be forged, they will misfire. Words may be thrown, they will boomerang into wisdom. Delays may stretch, they will snap back as testimony. The hedge is not fragile. The king is not tired. You are not exposed to chance. You are held by covenant. Let this assurance sink like anchor into your midnight. From this covering, watch how transformation accelerates into visible fulfillment. Let this assurance sink like anchor into your midnight. From this covering, watch how transformation accelerates into visible fulfillment. The chosen one. The turn you have felt within is about to take on skin and scenery. Transformation rarely announces itself with trumpets. It leaks into the edges of ordinary days until the whole landscape looks different. You will catch it first in your breath. The inhale that used to hitch in warning will arrive smooth. The low-grade alarm in your chest will retire. You will walk through rooms that once held your shoulders hostage and realize your posture has risen, not in defiance, but in belonging. The peace you practiced will stop feeling like a visitor and start acting like a landlord. Conversations will confirm what the Spirit already knew. A family member who dodged apologies will call and tell the truth, not perfectly, but genuinely. A sibling who laughed at prayer will ask you to pray anyway. Arguments that replayed like familiar shows will lose their audience because you refuse to buy tickets. Where blame once collected interest, responsibility will begin to pay dividends. You will witness the rare miracle of people choosing courage over comfort because your steadiness made safety visible. Work and provision will reflect the shift. Tasks that felt like pushing a boulder uphill will roll into alignment. The skill you stewarded in secret will be requested in public. Favor will not make you famous. It will make you faithful with more. Your budget will tell a different story, less frantic, plug the leak, more assigned generosity. Debt will shrink, not by magic, but by governance. And even the numbers will feel like worship because they finally bow to mission. Your home's atmosphere will thicken with serenity. Children will sleep easier, laugh louder. Elders will reminisce without bitterness. The hallway that hosted tension will host music. The kitchen table will become an altar where the mundane is consecrated, slicing fruit like a sacrament, washing dishes like prayer beads. Hospitality will train your hands to heal without fanfare. Laughter that once sounded like escape will sound like rooted joy. Dreams will mature into strategy. Night visions of rescue will translate into daytime decisions. Applications, submitted courses, started boundaries, honored small businesses, registered ministries, formed not from ambition, but assignment. You will find yourself teaching what you learned by bleeding. And your voice will carry the weight that only honest survival gives. People will trust you quickly because your presence tells the truth before your words do. Watch for beauty, returning to places that forgot color. The park you ignored becomes a chapel. A sunrise interrupts your rush and rearranges your schedule. Clothes you wore to hide begin to give way to garments that fit your freedom. You will notice how cleanliness and order preach without words, pantries, labeled calendars, clarified rooms, decluttered of what kept you stuck. None of it is vanity. It is prophecy made practical, a life arranged around peace so peace can stay. Forgiveness will prove its strength by memory without venom. You will recall scenes that once darkened your day and realize the sting has dissolved into wisdom. Gratitude will move from theory to reflex. Tears will still come, but they will irrigate, not erode. You will bless the story, not the harm, but the harvest, because you can finally see how what tried to bury you became the soil of abundance. Community will widen around your yes. Friends you prayed for will arrive on time, not as saviors, but as witnesses and co-laborers. The lonely hours that trained your ears will give way to rooms where voices harmonize without competing. You will sit in circles that pray like they mean it and plan like they expect it. In those spaces, guilt will find no chair, and comparison will not know the address. Most tender of all your descendants, born or yet to come, will inherit a climate, not a curse. They will learn rest as a native language. They will know correction without humiliation, ambition without exploitation, strength without swagger. They will look at you and see what covering looks like with skin on. And somewhere far ahead, a child will write in a journal you will never touch. In our family, we bless first, and heaven will smile, because a prophecy ripened into culture. This fulfillment is not an ending. It is a beginning with ballast. The river that reversed will keep deepening. The doors that opened will train you in stewardship. The mantle you wear, priest and builder, will feel made to measure. And on ordinary evenings, when the house hums and the sky bruises into night, you will sense the king's laughter still circling your roofline, not as noise, but as the quiet certainty that the story has tipped forever in your favor. Stand ready. Let these words be your mantle. We will seal this with affirmations and a blessing. Stand ready. Let these words be your mantle. We will seal this with affirmations and a blessing. The chosen one, breathe slowly and hold the nearness that has wrapped your house. You do not need to force anything now. Let the truth sit. Let the oil soak. Let the river keep turning, without your panic as its engine. You have heard enough to walk, and heaven delights to watch you take these next steps with a steady heart. Receive these simple living sentences. Speak them morning and night. Whisper them in hallways. Write them on the margins of your lists. Teach them to your table until they sound like home. 1. I host peace. I release peace. 2. The curse ends with me. The blessing begins through me. 3. I build with faith. I do not bargain with fear. 4. My family is a landing place for favor. Let them be short so you can carry them everywhere. Let them be sharp so they cut through noise. Let them be soft so they heal as they cut. When old voices rehearse, answer with these. When new doors open, enter with these. When silence lingers, rest beneath these like shade. Now lift your hands, open, unhurried, and receive this blessing. In the name of Jesus, I bless your mind with clarity that cannot be fogged by shame. May peaceful thoughts become your normal, and may wise thoughts arrive on time. I bless your eyes to find the way through your ears to recognize the shepherd's tone, your mouth to speak truth gentled by love. I bless your home. Let thresholds be anointed. Rooms be restful, tables be brave. May laughter return like rain after long heat, and may stories be told without venom. I bless your work to carry weight without crushing you, your provision to align with purpose, your decisions to be paced by peace and trimmed by wisdom. I bless your body with strength for holy endurance and rest for holy recovery. May sleep baptize you and mornings greet you without dread. I bless your hands to mend what is torn and your feet to walk paths of straightened favor. I bless your lineage. Let children, and those like children to you, inherit climate not curse, clarity not confusion, covenant not collapse. May promises attach to your surname the way mercy attaches to dawn. And I bless your future. May doors no one can shut open at the hour you can carry them. May angels stand where danger plots. May joy outlast storms. May you live so fully from the Father's approval that you stop auditioning for rooms he already gave you. The chosen one, it is done as spoken. Go in quiet boldness. Keep your altar. Guard your speech. Practice rest as warfare. And when you need to remember, lift your head and repeat, I host peace. I release peace. The curse ends with me. The blessing begins through me. I build with faith. I do not bargain with fear. My family is a landing place for favor. Amen.